Welcome friends. As we have already discussed in our previous lesson that there are 4 parts of the test and each part contains 10 questions. So now we'll discuss various types which comes into your listening module, and there are 4 types of questions. We'll start with the multiple choice questions first. Then comes map finding or labeling diagrams. Then the third type is called completion questions. And the last is called short answer questions. Now, any type of question can appear in any part of the test from part 1 to part 4. Say first 5 questions can be your short answer questions. 6 to 10 questions can come from map or related to any map. From 11 to 20 questions there can be MCQs and so on. Like any type can come in any part of the test. So, in this lesson, I will focus on first type of question, that is called multiple choice question. In this, we will discuss about the 2 types of questions and you will get in your test and some basic strategies of solving those questions with the help of examples. Now, talking about these types of questions, students here are given some choices in the question, and they have to find the correct answer by listening to the audio among those choices. Now, there are 2 types of multiple choice questions you will get in your listening test. The first type is where you will be given 3 options and you have to choose only one option out of those 3 options. Like here, the question is saying you have to choose the correct letter A, B, C, and the question is the type of insurance chosen. Now here, whatever you will listen in the audio, you have to match the audio with that of the question asked. But Ielts is an exam which likes to challenge you. So you might get the second type of question more often. And the second type is where you will get 1 to 3 questions altogether. So here you will be given a long list of options from which you have to choose either 2 answers or more answers. Here, according to the example, you have to choose 3 items which are recommended to you to take with you to the spa. Now, when given some choices like these, you have to hear what the speaker is talking about. Just because you hear some answers mentioned by the speaker doesn't make any answer correct. So you must select the correct answer according to the audio you listen, and you need to understand all the options carefully and try to plot the difference, that what are the things which are recommended by the speaker to take with you to the spa and what are the things you have to leave behind before going to the spa. So these are the 2 types of questions, but most likely you will get the second type in your options. Then comes how to find the correct answer in MCQs. We'll discuss some strategies which surely help you to find the correct answers in multiple choice questions. And the first strategy is called identifying keywords. Now, in identifying keywords, the first and the foremost step is to read the question first. Now, while reading the question, you just cannot read the question, you have to understand it and you have to paraphrase the question. Paraphrase simply means that you can translate the question in your own words or in the simple words in which you understand. After paraphrasing, you can look at the options and circle or underline the keywords in the question as well as in the options. Now, in certain cases, speaker will use some synonyms in his speech or in his conversation, or he can also use paraphrasing. Like whatever the options which are given in your listening test, he might not use those words, but he'll use some other words, use synonyms. So in that case, don't just match your options with that of the audio. You just have to understand what the audio or what the speaker is trying to say and match the correct translation in your option to find the correct answer. Now for the prediction part, You need to look at the keywords in your answer choices to identify certain things. Now, there are similar words you will find in your question sometimes. Sometimes in a multiple choice question, all the choices look similar, and whether there would be a difference of sound, like in case of numbers and name. Or there can be a difference of one word, which will also confuse you to a certain extent. And then there can be difference in time or tense. Let's look upon some of the similar sounding words in listening. Now the term used for similar sounding word is homonyms. In this case, if it comes to numbers, you will have to listen properly that what the speaker is saying and try to match up with the accent he is using to pronounce that word. Here, you will just analyze all the options carefully and relate it to the question asked. Correlation is very important in this case. For example, I have written in the question that what do honeybees pollinate on? And if we'll see the options, the first option is saying flower, the second is saying flower, the third is floor. Now, these three are interrelated words and sound similar to each other. But when it comes to the question, you have to make a relation with the option. The question is related to honeybees. So, honeybees and pollinate are your both keywords. So, first option is flour, which means or which is used in different foods or to make different foods. Then flour, you already know that what is a flour, and this is the most likely case, and you can predict the answer that honeybees mostly pollinates on flowers, crops, grains and so on. So this can be your answer. Then the last is floor. This is also sounding similar, but it means on the ground. And we know that honeybees cannot pollinate on the ground. So the most likely answer can be B. This prediction you can make it at prior before listening the audio, and this prior predictions can definitely help you to plot the correct answer. Next are the similar answers with one word difference. Here you will see that there will be one word which will be common in all the options, and you need to focus on what the speaker is saying. So the common word will not be your keyword, and rest of the words you have to emphasize on. For example, here the question is given, a champion athlete will be in the shop. So champion athlete and shop are your main keywords. So options which are given are on Saturday morning only, and Saturday I have kept in bold. Then next answer is all day Saturday. So Saturday is common word, and the last option is again called Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday is again common. But you cannot mark these three as your keyword because this is the common word. The main keywords will be morning only, all day Saturday, and Saturday and Sunday. So here, if the audio is saying the champion athlete will be in the shop at 9 a.m. on Saturday and be there till Sunday. Now here, when the student will listen to the first half of the conversation, then they will analyze that A option can be the correct answer, just because they have listened to the first clip. But when they listen to the other half, which is written and be there till Sunday, then they get that the answer is not the A option, but it will be option C, because he will stay there on Saturday as well as on Sunday. So the C is the correct answer. This kind of conversation will be given by the speaker just to confuse the candidates, and he may use A option, C option as well as B option in his conversation. But the correct answer will be only one. Here I have another example. The question is saying the first person to answer 20 quiz questions will win. Gym is the common word, so we'll not mark this as a keyword. The keywords will be membership, equipments and bag. So if the audio is saying the participants of the quiz competition will get free gym membership of the club, and the person to answer 20 quiz questions first will get gym equipments. Now the first half or according to the first half, the answer can be gym membership. But here, according to the audio, they are mentioning the participants will get gym membership. But the question is talking about the first person to answer 20 quiz question, which is referring to this answer called gym equipments. So in this case, B option is the correct option. This is how the speaker will confuse you, but you don't have to confuse yourself. You need to understand the conversation carefully and then you have to plot your correct answer. Then comes similar answers which have a difference in time or tense. So when it comes to time difference questions, remember one thing, that when always depicts time. And here the question is saying, when will Jane and Lucy reach the college? So the main keywords here will be Jane, Lucy and college. Now if the students are getting this sort of time in the options, say 2:15, 2:30 and 1:45, then it becomes easy for them to plot the answer. But if instead of this time, it is given like this or said like this, like 2:15, 2:30 and 1:45. So it creates confusion in the minds of the people that what can the answer be. So you have to learn this concept that in an hour, you get 60 minutes and each quarter consists of 15 minutes. So when it is written past, that means after, and when it is written to, that always means before. So here if it is written 2:15, that means quarter after 2, that means 2:15. 2:30 simply means 2:30 and 1:45 means we are approaching to the time, 2 o'clock we are approaching to that time, that means before. 1:45 is the answer. So here you need to be well aware with the time to mark the answer correct. And if we will talk about tense change, so here is the question by which you can easily make prediction, because we are talking about the predictions in the question. So here the prediction is very obvious. The question says the best way of protection from harmful bacteria is to. So first step is to mark the keywords. So the keywords will be protection, harmful bacteria and way also is your main keyword. Now here, when you check about the sentence, you have to complete the sentence, but the questions are multiple choice. So here you need to mark the keyword before the blank as well, and it is written to. So there's a note here for your reference. Then whenever you'll get to word, as it is called a preposition. So the rule says to always comes with verb's first form. So the most likely answer will be either A or C, because A option contains the word follow and C option contains the word visit. So both these words are verb's first form. So either sentence will be the best way of protection from harmful bacteria is to follow hygiene rules, or it can be visit doctor regularly. But it cannot be B answer, because it is saying following the doctor's prescription. Now following is verb's first form plus ing, which is not suiting the sentence and it is incorrect sentence formation. So this is how you can plot the difference in tense to most likely predict the answer in your questions. Next is when the answer lies in the opening sentence. Now here you need to be attentive when the speaker begins the conversation, as sometimes the answer to the questions lies in the opening sentence, but you miss out the conversation because you not remain attentive in the starting of the audio. When the audio starts, sometimes your concentration loses. So in that case, you need to be careful enough to listen to the audio from the very beginning. Now here is the question which is saying, choose 3 letters A to G. What 3 things are not allowed in the museum? Now here you have to mark 3 things which are not allowed. Now it is possible that speaker will say all the options in the questions, but you have to mark only those answers which are not allowed in the museum. So I will give you certain time to listen to the audio carefully, and after that I will discuss with you that what will be the most likely answers and what are the answers which you have to eliminate.
There are a few things you will need to know before you come to the museum. You won't be able to take your camera into the museum, as photos are forbidden, which means that applies for phones as well. If you want pictures of the exhibitions, you'll have to buy the museum guidebook, which has information as well as pictures of most of our famous exhibits. If you have a bag and you don't want to carry it around with you, then you can store it in the locker room on the ground floor near the entrance. You're welcome to walk around with your notebooks to sketch or make notes on our displays. If you're in need of refreshments, you'll have to make your way to our cafe, as you can't bring your own inside. Well, that's a list of do's and don'ts. Hope you enjoy your visit.
Now in this conversation, you observe one thing, that the answer lied in the opening sentence. If the question said, I'll repeat the question again, what 3 things are not allowed in the museum? And you are given 7 options to choose from. So the speaker uses each and every option to mention in the conversation, but you have to choose only 3 options which he or she said that is not allowed in the museum. So according to the first 2 sentences, we'll observe that there are few things you will need to know before you come to the museum. This is referring to the question itself. But the answer says you won't be able to take your camera. That means the first option will be camera, that you cannot take into the museum. Then photos are forbidden, which means that goes for phones as well. So the next option will be phone. So 2 answers you get from the opening sentence. Then you listen to the conversation. There is a reference of pictures, there's a reference of museum guidebook, and then they talk about if you have a bag, you don't want to carry it around with you, then you can store it in the locker room. Now, this is an option to the students, whether they can take their bag to the museum or willingly they cannot take their bag to the museum. So, this cannot be your answer. Then they are saying you are welcome to walk around with your notebooks to sketch or make notes. That means notebooks and sketch are allowed in the museum. And if you are in the need of refreshments, you will have to make your way to a cafe. You can't bring your own inside. That means if you want to eat something, you can go to their cafe, but you can't bring your own food. So the next answer will be C. So total options which are correct and which are not allowed in the museum are A, C, and D. So this is how the answer will lie in the opening sentence, and you have to listen to the conversation from the very beginning to understand what it means, and this is how you'll get the correct answers as well. Now what happens in the exam? Sometime in multiple choice question, you will not listen to the exact answer from the speaker side. Rather, you have to rule out the wrong options to get or reach out to the correct answer. There's one example I have put for you. So this is the question, what did she have inside her briefcase? A option says wallet, pens and novel. B, papers and wallet. C, pens and novel. And D, papers, pens and novel. Now I'll make you listen to the audio carefully first, and you have to find out the answer by eliminating the wrong options. I'll play the video now.
I've got that. So, what did you have inside the briefcase?
Well, all my papers from college. It's so frustrating, but thank goodness for computers. I haven't lost them completely.
Yes, you're lucky.
I had my wallet in my pocket, so I didn't lose that. But there were also my pens, which I got for my birthday, and a novel I was planning to read on the train.
Now here you listen to audio carefully and you find that there was a conversation between a woman and a police officer. and they were talking about a complaint which woman registered regarding her loss of briefcase. Now, at first, the question said, "What did you have inside your briefcase?" The police asked this question. So, in this case, she said, "All my papers from the college." Now, you can see from this conversation that she is saying that I lost my papers from the college. What you will do? You will eliminate A option and C option because it is not containing the word papers. But she lost her papers because she have it inside her briefcase. Then she said, "I had my wallet in my pocket." That means she doesn't lose her wallet because it was in her pocket. So wallet was in the B option. So you can eliminate B option. Finally, you will get your correct answer, which is D. She lost her some of the papers. She said, "I lost my pens as well." And there was a novel she was planning to read on the train. So all the three options matches in the end. But from the first half of the interview, you can realize that by ruling out all the wrong options, you will reach out to your correct answer. Now we will talk about how to get your correct answer when you get the pictures in the options and you have to translate the pictures into words. When options in the question like A, B, C, suppose options are given, but you are getting pictures of something and the question is in reference to those pictures, you have to translate the pictures into your own words, which will make you clear and understand what the question is saying. Make sure you will carefully examine the picture and then mark your correct answer. Let's talk about this picture. Here the question is saying, what does the woman order for lunch? So here 4 options are given to you. First is pizza. It can be pizza. Second is you can see or you can predict that it can be a kind of sandwich. Third is maybe a sub or a hot dog or a taco. It can be anything. And fourth is maybe noodles or fried rice. So this is how you will predict all the 4 options, and then I'll make you listen to the audio and you have to find out what will be the correct answer, that what woman ordered for lunch.
Why don't I go to the canteen and buy something and you stay here and wait?
Good idea.
What would you like? Pizza, sandwich, hot dog, fried rice, they do everything.
Oh, something easy. Takeaway fried rice sounds good.
Okay, fried rice.
No, on second thoughts, I'll have a cheese and tomato sandwich.
Right, 1 cheese and tomato. Anything to drink?
Yeah, give me coffee, would you?
Now from this audio, you hear 2 people talking to each other. One was a female student and another was a male student. Now they both were talking to each other. Now male student asked the female student what would she like for lunch. The first was pizza, as we have predicted. The second was a sandwich. Third was a hot dog. So you can eliminate sub or taco or something, which we predicted earlier. And then it is fried rice. So in that case, first you can see that you have translated the pictures into words from which you can make yourself clear that the audio is actually matching up with your prediction. Then you check that female student first of all say that she wants fried rice. So you will directly mark D option as your correct answer. But she changes her opinion and she said that on second thoughts, I'll have cheese and tomato sandwich. And then male student finally agreed to buying a cheese and tomato sandwich. So in that case, the option will be the incorrect one. You will mark the answer B as correct. So this is how you have to translate the pictures first to reach out to your correct answer. Now last technique you can say is never ignore the options all of the above and none of the above. Now sometimes in the questions, all of the above questions are given. Like the speaker will mention all the 3 options and maybe the 4th option will be all of the above. So in that case, if all the 3 options are matching up with the conversation and with the question, then you have to mark answer D as your correct answer. You cannot ignore these kind of questions because maybe in your listening test, you have chances that 1 or 2 questions can be related to all of the above or none of the above. So you have to focus on all the options according to the question asked.